Good day. To our loyal viewers and readers of DNA, a warm welcome to another interview with heads of missions. Costa Rica, known as the Switzerland of Central America, home to 5 active volcanoes and the amazing landscapes that come with that, including several stunning waterfalls, where the positivity of its people is inspired by the national motto of Pura Vida, or pure life. It is our privilege to welcome His Excellency Victor Rojas, Ambassador of Costa Rica to Singapore.
So hi.
Welcome, sir. Excellency, kindly share with us the most memorable personal and professional experience so far in your time as an ambassador in Singapore.
Well, once I arrived here in Singapore, I was impressed by the Gardens by the Bay because they can, mix the urban things with the nature. Costa Rica preserved the environment. I was impressed for me to see this kind of develop here in Singapore. Another aspect was in the beginning of the COVID-19, the pandemic starts. We create a bridge between Costa Rica and Singapore to interchange experiences in how to manage the pandemic. For me, I think the most important.
Ambassador, when did Costa Rica establish its first diplomatic mission in Singapore? And how will you describe the development of the bilateral relations between both countries thus far? And how do you foresee the future?
Well, Costa Rica opened the embassy in Singapore in October 29, 2007. Since we opened the embassy here, we established a relation as equals. Most of the people believes when you proceed from the third country, developed country, you came here, local, collecting money, but it's not the Costa Rican situation. We're trying to interchange experiences as equals with Singapore. And we start with technology, education, and how to protect the environment, particularly.
Now, Singapore is known to be one of the strongest economies in the region and historically vital international business hub. And kindly highlight the main accomplishments within the arenas of foreign investment and trade between Singapore and Costa Rica.
Well, we have a commerce balance between Costa Rica in favor of Costa Rica in this moment. Costa Rica produces medical supplies and technology, chips for computers, and Singapore may buy all these things. But now we are planning to develop the industry of semiconductors between Singapore and Costa Rica. The North America, United States of America wants to develop this semiconductors industry in nearshoring, near-friendly countries, and Costa Rica is one of them. But our idea is to develop joint venture activities between Singapore and Costa Rica in this semiconductor industry.
That's great to hear. His Excellency, please share with us what Costa Rica has to offer in terms of tourism and how would it be considered different to that of your neighboring countries? What are some of the sights and sounds you would recommend to Singaporeans wishing to visit the beautiful country of Costa Rica?
Well, Costa Rica have the 5% of the biodiversity of the planet. When you visit Costa Rica, you can visit 2 oceans in one day. You can visit the Pacific and the Atlantic. You have mountains in the middle. You have lakes. You have clean rivers. And our beaches are the same that you can find here in the Southeast Asia. Or the people who loves Bali can probably love Costa Rica at the same time. And we abolished the army forces 72 years ago. We don't have an army. And the country is safe. We are neutral in political conflicts. And we have a lot of experience working in ecotourism. That's why the people love to visit Costa Rica. Because we protect the environment. You can get in touch with the natural things in Costa Rica, the animals, etc. For Singaporeans, it will be fantastic because the Singaporeans love to live in the harmony with the environment, and we offer this harmony. That's why we mention always Pura Vida. Pura Vida is more than to live with another human being. It's Pura Vida is the way we choose to live with the natural things.
And the other way around, for Costa Ricans coming to Singapore, what would you be telling them why they should visit Singapore?
But Singapore is, for us, is the hub of Southeast Asia. It's a beautiful country, and it's the best way to approach this part of the world. You have a developed city, and at the same time, you have the experiences and the culture things here.
I see. Now, Singapore embraces cultural diversity, as you say. And is that something both countries have in common? And how would you define the cultural identity of Costa Rica? Within an even more cultural, intercultural, and global world, how is this unique identity expressed in contemporary society?
Well, Costa Rica and Singapore have probably a lot of things in common, and one of them is this Malay word is roya. It's roya like a mixed food, and Costa Rica is mixed. We have people from Africa, we have people from China, we have people from Europe, and all of them arrived to Costa Rica and established in Costa Rica. We have two migrations from China, was in the 18th century, and the other one was in the 19th century. We have these descendants from the slaves from Africa. We have in Costa Rica, in the Atlantic area, a lot of people with the origin from Africa and China, Europe. They're similar. And the religious tolerance in our country is, it's a peaceful place, my country. And also you here in Singapore can find the same, it's predictable country.
So would I be right to say that some Costa Rican cuisine is a mixture or hot pot of all these different cultures as well?
Yes, but I need to confess you, the food in Singapore is better. Yeah, definitely. And that's why I really enjoy every day here in Singapore, because it's always is different. In my country, it's more like rice and beans and rice. That's rice and beans in the morning with egg, and maybe at the lunchtime is rice and beans with meat, and at night is rice and beans with something else.
But I can tell you, as a Singaporean and who loves travel, many of us love to eat rice and beans when we go to places like Costa Rica, where this.
Yeah, but the people, the origin is from Malaysia, probably yes. But the Chinese people love.
No. I love it. I love it very much.
Beans.
Yeah. It does remind me.
Americans call Latinos frijoleros. Because we love beans. Frijoleros beans.
No, I understand that. Tell us, what are some of your favorite Singaporean dishes? What about that?
This is a good question. This is a really good question. But depends, from India, from China, or from Malaysia.
What your personal favorites? Like, if you could have one meal right now, you could choose whatever you want from Singapore.
Bak kut teh.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you pronounce that very well.
I love this because I love soups. I am the opposite of Mafalda. Mafalda is a cartoon in Latin America. He hates soup, but I love soup.
Well, for those viewers who are not quite familiar with Singaporean cuisine, bak kut teh is a pork and bone in soup, a broth, and then you eat it with rice and with fried fritters. So I can understand why you love it, because I love it too.
Well, I'm a bit hungry in this moment.
I'm making you hungry.
With explanation about that.
I'm so sorry. I just have one last question, then we can go and eat, okay? Now, Ambassador Rojas, for Singaporeans wishing to engage commercially with Costa Rica, is there a Chamber of Commerce or Trade office that one can contact? And please also mention other platforms where one could find information related to doing business and trade with your country.
Well, now, by the moment, the first contact is through the embassy. Exists a Latin America Chamber of Commerce here in Singapore. They can help. And we have a special office. The name is Procomer. And through Procomer, that's the best way to get into trying to do business with our country. But the embassy is always open and ready to help the people who wants to do business with Costa Rica. And also with the Costa Rican who wants to establish here.
So he works both ways.
Yeah. Recently, a company, the name is Establishing Labs from Costa Rica. They produce implants. They want to establish here in Singapore, and they exploring the opportunities and options that they have to expand the exportations of this company to China and Southeast Asia.
I'm looking forward to visiting your beautiful country very soon. Gracias.
Well, you will be welcome to visit Costa Rica. Todos son bienvenidos a visitar Costa Rica. Gracias.
Thank you, sir.